May, though I was not born in May. I mean, it's a beautiful month. May stands for so many things, and May this year means a lot to me because when strong women cry, it's out there. Make sure you get your copy. Vendors all over. Follow me on social media. On Facebook, it's Ohiniri Gifty Auntie Oga. On Instagram, it's Ohiniri_Gifty _Auntie. I'm just excited. You know, all the vendors, their number, locations are on there. But then you can also call 0543-618182 or 020-886-1919 or 0543-618182. The numbers are on the screen to get your copy. It's a must-have. Make sure you get a copy for that woman. That woman you know has been through a lot, is going through a lot. That woman you don't even know her hustle. Buy one for her, buy one for yourself, and make sure that at the end of it, you give me feedback, because trust me, there's nothing like that book. It's healing, it's detoxing. Listen, find out for yourself. You will learn how to turn your adversity into an advantage for greater good. But today, I'm about to celebrate an amazing young woman who has turned her adversity into greater good. Her story will shock you. Her story will amaze you. It will give you hope for you to know that God always works in mysterious ways. Welcome to The Standpoint. Let me say thank you to Bri for my dress, my beads, as always by Twinny Crafts, and of course my anklet, my earrings beads by Twinny Crafts. I'm so grateful to them. And my makeup by Pensy Beauty Hub. Thank you so much to her. And then hair by Shasha Wig. We take a break. When we come back, we get to meet my guest for today.
The Standpoint. The Standpoint.
Welcome back to The Standpoint, and we are celebrating an amazing young woman who turned something that could have been an adversity into an advantage for the greater good, just like when strong women cry. And I'm sure she will tell us there's been those crying moments, yes, but she's here, and I'm sure she doesn't have any regrets at all. She is Eugenia Era Ajua Tevi, but her maiden name is Sintim Eddie. Yes, she's an in-law. So let me declare my interest before somebody will say anything. She's Sintim Eddie. All right. So let me say thank you to Vena Mineral Water. Vena Mineral Water has a balanced pH level with the required minerals, and then it is also low in sodium. And Vena is noted for its charitable, projects like changing lives and sharing love. Wherever they go, whatever the situation, if they can support, they will be there. And I say thank you to them. Thank you to Bigo Drinks, also by Trillium Ghana, producers of Vena Mineral Water. Finesse Decor, they take care of our, decor, the plants and beautifying the place. We're so grateful to them. Yep, cleaning service makes sure our environment is constantly clean. And House of Food, Auntie Vera and the team, always grateful. Mrs. Oforipoko and the family, we are always grateful to you. Now, my guest is an amazing woman. I've known for a while. I've admired her. I appreciate her. Her brother is always talking about, I don't say anything, but I soak everything in. Eugenia, welcome to The Standpoint.
Thank you, Gifty.
It's good to have you.
Good to be here.
How's my girl doing?
Oh, she's fantastic.
My birthday mate.
Yes, she's so fantastic. She's regular teenager.
Yeah.
Her usual self, fighting me and making up all the time. Wanting to wear the same clothes with me. She's just good.
Oh, she wants to wear the same clothes with you.
She actually does. Now she's able to wear my clothes. So.
Okay, Asamaba. But thank you for all you've done. I know it's not been an easy, but if you don't mind telling us your story. What's her name?
Elsie.
Elsie, the story of Elsie.
Yes. Okay. So I had Elsie in 2009.
Okay.
23rd January, your birthday.
My birthday. Yes.
And everything seemed okay. It was a normal delivery. And then we were sent home as usual. Daddy was excited because he was way past 40, and that was his first one.
Yeah.
So I noticed something in the, you know, when we're in the ward.
Right.
She looked quite different from the others.
How do you mean by different?
Yes, you know, the babies had pink skin, hers
Right.
was a bit whitish and dry.
Okay.
So I drew the attention of the doctors, and
Okay, hold on. During your pregnancy, they didn't see anything?
no, everything was fine.
Okay.
Everything was okay. There was no issue with the pregnancy.
Okay.
It all happened during the birthing process.
Okay.
So unfortunately, it was during the cutting of the umbilical cord that she had an infection. I think an infection called Klebsiella. So yes, we were sent home, even though I noticed the changes. When I told the doctor was like, oh, how do you know? I said that the baby is changing colors. When she cries, she goes pink, and then she's looking white, and the different, you know, the babies are looking different. And he actually told me I was challenging his profession when I told him the baby had been suckling all night, but there was no urine or poo in the diaper. It was the same diaper. It was so dry. And I said I had read in books that, you know, when you have a child, a baby, for a few days, the baby can even survive without food.
Yes.
The doctor said that it's common sense. It's what goes in that comes out as excreta. So if I haven't been able to give the baby breast milk, because even though the baby was suckling, there was no breast milk coming out yet. So I just took it in my stride and I took my baby home. My husband had a good time. I had it on a Friday night, so I think he went out.
The Friday bonds, we are unique, you know.
I know. What? The coincidence is just too much.
I know, right?
23rd and a
Friday. Yes, we have a special bond.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And Daddy was, you know, happy. He came to the hospital a bit sick from, you know, a hangover.
Yes.
So I didn't really discuss anything. We went home. And then the next morning, my sister-in-law came to visit. And then I noticed she was changing color. She wouldn't cry, because I had heard stories. My friends who had babies would say, oh, I wake up every hour, every 2 hours.
Yes.
This baby was just sleeping. And I found it a bit strange. But hey, I was like, well, maybe God heard my cry
and gave you a different baby.
A different
I know, right?
baby.
Yeah.
So I just managed it. My sister-in-law came and looked at the child and said, oh, she's a bit jaundiced, but it's a bit too late. So I should wait the early morning sun next morning. Then I take the baby out. And I called the midwives and they told me the same thing. So my husband went out to see our best man, still going on with the good news. And then I spoke to the wife, who happens to be my friend, Kafui. And I spoke to Kafui. So this was the Monday.
Right.
And Kafui said to me, oh, you know what? How is baby? I said, baby is doing well, but very jaundiced. The eyes are very yellowish and all that. And I was advised to wait and put her in the early morning sun. He said, I've heard this before. My hairdresser's daughter, she was still holding her, sitting under the sun, and the baby passed. So quickly, they dispatched my husband to come back. And I started making calls to the pediatrician. So by the time he came, we were ready to go. We went back to the hospital, and they started. And I don't know how many doctors and house officers, people were asking me questions. I got so confused. They were coming from all angles. But hey,
and this was here in Ghana?
Yes, right here in Ghana. I don't know if I am able to, I should be able
and you
to.
Can. You should be able to.
This was just 37. And that's exactly where I had her. Apparently there was an infection lingering there. They knew about it, but they said they had to chat till they get to a peak before they fumigate. And unfortunately, that was the time I got in there. Wow. So, yeah, that was when she contracted the infection. Yes, I was
went
lucky.
Back there?
Yes, I went back there. I did at that time. I didn't know what it was. So I saw this doctor. I went past my 40 weeks, so I was induced. So the first night they did all that, and she was chubby. So they kept going in and looking for a vein to set a line and all that. Finally, we were successful, and we were detained in the pediatric emergency for a while. The next day in the morning, I saw the doctor who sent me to the labor ward sitting in the car. And I said to him, "Doc, I'm here again. My baby had complications." He didn't even want to look me in the face. All he said was, "You took the baby home and you couldn't take care of her." At that point, honestly,
to say to a mother,
honestly, I felt like killing myself. I became so suicidal. I didn't know. I felt so guilty.
So blaming you.
Yes, and it wasn't just him. And my child was isolated. I said, "Why are you isolating?" I thought it was for good. He said, "Okay, it's understandable that you isolate a baby. You know, eventually they moved us from the intensive care to the NICU, where they keep the babies." So she was isolated somewhere, and I asked, and they said, "Oh, because I took her home, I probably brought the infection." And anyway, we spent 3 weeks going back and forth. And I kept asking questions. You know, those days, internet wasn't on our phones.
Of course.
We had to go to baby, drive all the way to busy internet or something. Yes. And they weren't prepared to tell you what was happening to you, your baby. So I heard one nurse one evening saying, "I don't like sepsis." And I said, "Excuse me, what is sepsis?" She said she won't tell me. So I kept it in my head, and I told my husband, I said, "Because we are not allowed to sleep here, I would feed, do everything, and then in the evening I'll go home, come early morning." It went on for 3 weeks whilst we were on admission. So we went to busy internet, and then we went to Google sepsis. I kept asking. It was some form of infection. Every 2 or 3 days, they would take samples and ask us to take it to 2 different labs. So we did that until the infection cleared. We were doing the blood cultures, the urine cultures. Some of the time she wasn't responding to the antibiotics. They kept changing. So long story cut short, after 3 weeks, we were discharged. Thank God I had a healthy baby. Baby was looking all chubby and well fed. And this time I was very careful, because I didn't know. All this while, I was thinking I was the cause. Yes. So that was how it went. And then when she turned 6 months, one of the days my mom picked her up to go and give her a bath. And her neck was just going. I mean, she would just go till she hit something, and then the thing would choke her. If she doesn't hit anything, she can just go all the way and tumble over. So I came to work, and I was telling my work colleague, and I said to him, "Hey, my daughter, she's some wonderful creature." Because she, you know, all of a sudden her neck control, and he said, "No, it's not a playing matter. You have to take her back to the hospital." So I asked permission. I didn't even let work end. I asked permission. And I called my husband and I said, "No, we have to act." But the pediatrician who saw us in 37 had traveled. So we went to see Dr. Jabano. He didn't know the history, so I had to tell him everything from when it all started. And then he said to me, "Oh, it is because of what happened, the infection and all that. But because she was very little, the muscles were able to hold her. Now that she is growing, the muscles are giving way, so she's not able to do some of these things." And then he suggested we just stimulate her by putting toys and getting her to raise her neck and trying to reach out and all that. We did that for a few days. It wasn't working. Unfortunately, the pediatrician didn't, you know, stay too long. She came back, so we went to see her. When we went to see her, she prescribed physio for 6 weeks. We thought 6 weeks, it would be a done deal. Gifty, I got the shock of my life when I went to physio for the first time and I saw babies with disabilities. And that was when reality hit us, because they told us, "What your daughter has, you are going to probably go through this for life."
Can you imagine the feeling?
Yeah. And honestly, I had read and I had read intensively about, you know, having babies and all that, but I never knew.
Came across something like that.
I never came across anything.
And even
having
if you did,
children
you didn't
with
expect that to happen
exactly.
to you.
Even if it would happen, I didn't even come across it. I thought once the baby is born, that is it. I'd never expected to have, or I had not even seen it. It wasn't that popular, because around the time, you know, people who had children with disabilities kind of kept them indoors. So it wasn't common to see somebody carrying a baby with disabilities. It was all the healthy babies we were seeing all over. So honestly, it was a big blow to me, and not just me, my husband. We came home and we wept. Yeah, we wept. And
I can you know, imagine your pain, but for your husband, who, I mean, the excitement of having his first child, and then this happens, that you were told that this disability is going to be for life.
Yeah.
So what did people tell you? Tell me, Eugenia, did you try spiritual?
I didn't do spiritual. Well, spiritual, yes, churches.
Churches, okay.
But I didn't go to the malams.
No, I'm not talking. I mean, like, roaming from church to seeking.
Oh, yes. I went to South Africa. I went, not just me, my husband and I, we went to South Africa.
And one thing I must put on board, that she has a very supportive husband. And I really salute him for that. I mean, he most of the time, I mean, sorry to take it as, you get some of these you hear some of these stories, and the men abandon
90%
the baby.
of
90% abandon and then leave the mother alone. But your husband has really been. So you said what? He followed you to South Africa?
Yes, I pushed him. We first went to Nigeria. We went to TB Joshua's church. We were there for a week. Unfortunately, our case wasn't called, but we were there. We were there. We would wake up and leave the hotel around 3:30 a.m., go and queue with our passports, go through all this. You know how some of our brothers there are, they will insult you, push you around, the ushers trying to, you go here, the man should be here. That time, when we noticed, I mean, we had to take certain actions outside Ghana, I had a new baby. And he was just some 3-4 months old. I had a cesarean, but I had to move. So we went to Nigeria. After TB Joshua, we came back. And then after a while, we went back to the healing school in South Africa to see Pastor Chris. And, we've been everywhere. When it all started, my husband was a bit skeptical about this herbal thing. Yeah. So my parents at some point even had to come in. They will come and take my baby. Oh, we want to take her for a weekend so you get some respite. When they take her, they probably will have somebody come and administer something oral. Yeah. It took a while for my husband to understand and agree that, okay, once there are topical creams and it's not going into the child, then that is fine. So, through it all, there's always a thin line, because these things, if you don't manage it well, it can also break
your home.
Exactly.
Yes. It can,
so I just ask God for wisdom, because even before I open my mouth to ask or say anything, I will need to make sure, am I doing the right thing? Am I saying the right thing? Because if I don't, and it triggers something, I might.
Because he was dealing with his own pain and disappointment as well.
Yes, exactly. And of course, he has his own struggles as well.
Let me take a break. When we come back, we'll look at when you finally came to an acceptance that, okay, this is it, and how the journey has been. Okay. You're watching The Standpoint. Let me say thank you to Bri Redra for my dress, my beads, by Twinny Craft, hair by Shasha Wigs, and makeup by Pensy Beauty Hub. We'll be back.
The Standpoint. The Standpoint.
Welcome back to The Standpoint. Again, I say thank you to Mrs. Sofori Poko and the family, to Venom Mineral Water, Juice Time, 100% fruit juices. Thank you to Yep Cleaning Services, Phoenix Decor, for the beautiful decor as always. So grateful to them. And of course, we are grateful to Vena Mineral Water. I mean, the water is always embarking on saving lives, you know, sharing love and changing lives, pH levels, balance, all the right minerals in there, low in sodium, and it's good quality water. So thank you to all of them. Now my guest is Mrs. Eugenia Irajua TV. Raj for short, you know, the CEO of Cetera Limited. Cetera Limited, what do you do there? Footwear. Hey, now, mommy, probably
for men.
Okay,
don't worry. The ladies will come. I used to do ladies, but you have to hold for now. But we'll come back with the band.
Because of me. She's been sharing her experiences with us, not faint-hearted or not at all, but I mean, she's been able to live it. Elsie is how old now?
14.
14 now.
Yes.
So at what point did you come to an acceptance that, so this is it, it's going to be for the rest of my life, 14 years now?
This was when she was about 3 years.
Mm.
Yes, it took me a while.
Wow.
It took me a while. And I came to the acceptance after the healing school. You know, the healing school, I learned a lot. Healing comes from within, and you heal yourself. Nobody touches you. You do things by yourself. So I learned a lot. Some sicknesses respond to medication.
Right.
Others don't.
Right.
Yes. And it was, for me, it was a last stop. Because I was made to understand trying. It means that when you go somewhere and say, I'm going to try, it means that it is not going to work.
Great.
So you are just, you know, testing spirits. And yeah. So I just, at that moment, decided, look, I am a child of God. I am going to use the words that God has given me to achieve what I want. I'm not going to depend on anybody. I was actually so exhausted. I was tired. I was running out of funds. All our investments, everything was just, you know, so I just decided, look, enough was enough. So
before you go on, then you had another child.
Yes.
After Elsie.
Yes.
And here you were. So what's the difference between Elsie, the age
2
difference?
years.
2 years. How was that affecting your care and love for that? That's a boy, right?
Yes, it's a boy.
Yeah. What's his name?
He is Mauli.
Mauli. Towards Mauli. Because then all the focus seemed to have been on Elsie.
Yes. So I had a lot of advice. The more reason why I decided to go ahead and have Clearland.
Okay.
Because I noticed that when people came home with their children, sometimes some of them would, you know, the children would want to go near Elsie, but the parents would think, oh, it's some kind of infection, and sometimes they'll go like, oh, don't go and worry her, oh, this. Oh, I realized that they were, you know, shunning away from her. So based on advice, I decided I was going to have one. He would not have anywhere to go with the sister. So the truth of the matter is, it did not affect the love I had for this one, the new one. And Elsie, fortunately for me, accepted the new baby and wanted the baby all the time to be with her. And it was easier for me. So from day one, this baby was involved in all the therapy sections. Everywhere I went with Elsie,
he was there too.
He was there too.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
That's
it
awesome.
did not affect. I would put them on the same bed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it affected.
Okay.
No.
So would you say that they've now grown a bond?
The bond is stronger. Sometimes when they are talking and I get there, they go mute. I go like, yes, what is it? And they're like, no, mommy, it doesn't concern you. We have our own deal. So I quietly leave them. And they understand each other. Mauli is 12 now.
Okay.
And sometimes if I need to go out and there's nobody, Mauli is able to cook, feed Elsie and do stuff for her. The only thing he can't do now is lifting and changing diaper, but every other thing he's able to.
But the good thing maybe in this situation, Elsie is able to talk.
Yes, Elsie talks. We met a Cuban doctor very early.
Okay.
And this was when she was about 7 months.
Okay.
And he insisted we started speech therapy.
Right.
We went around a few. I think that time there were only about 5 speech therapists in Ghana.
Okay.
So we went to Chris Pat. That was the first place.
Yes, I remember Chris Pat. Yeah, I did stories with them.
And years he said Elsie was too, small. He couldn't do the therapy, and gave me all the reasons why speech therapy is a no-no now.
Okay.
So I went back to the Cuban doctor, and he still insisted. So we had to keep looking. So we looked until Dr. Bedu introduced us to Rima House, and we met Nanekia. Awawa too. So Nanekia was the one who first started the therapy with her. And eventually we ended up going with her from Rima House to Awawa too. And it was such a drastic improvement for Elsie. So I think that is what did the trick. Because the others wait and they talk to them in baby language and all that. But right from the beginning, I was asked to be talking to her. And I took up some courses. I went to Gimpa. And I couldn't leave her to go and join study groups and all that. So she was my study partner.
That's all.
Everything I tell her, things I want to tell people and I know they will use against me, it's always been Elsie. So it took her a while, but after 3.5 years, that was when she started bringing out the words one by one. And now you should see how she talks.
She's 23rd January. She's Friday.
She's such a chatterbox.
Thank you. We talk now.
Yes.
We talk now. So
I think that is what did the trick. And I will recommend it any day that speech therapy very early helps.
In all the conversation or in the conversation so far, what I've picked up is you're a very proactive mother. Yes. You are a very knowledgeable and intelligent mother who stops at nothing to get what she wants. You are always inquiring, asking questions, researching, reading, and seeking answers for the sake of. But you don't get that in many mothers.
No. Some, unfortunately, don't even know the medications they take.
But you took your time and, Elsie has made you a professional now.
I know.
You know all these things, and which I think is laudable. I mean, were you always that kind of person, or is a situation that really pushed you into that?
No, I've always been that kind of person.
Inquisitive, very inquiring, asking,
very inquisitive, wanting to know how things work.
Okay.
I'm also very technical.
Okay. What's your background?
Okay, so I did science in secondary school.
Okay.
And then I moved on to do business. I actually wanted to do nursing. And I got to the point of interview, and my cousin was the doctor there, and he failed me. He failed me for 2 reasons. I had too many allergies when it came to detergents and all that. Okay. And then I was a serious, full-blown asthmatic. So he said, no, if I really wanted to do nursing, then I should go and do a degree in nursing. I should not start from the diploma level. So he failed me. So I went back to do business. I did accountancy. After a while, I found it boring because the marketing people will go and blow all the money, and then you will have to sit down and do all the figures. So I shifted. I went to do marketing in Gimpa. Okay. And then, of course, when I had Elsie, thanks to my sister-in-law, she sponsored a few of our trips to Center for Children with Cerebral Palsy in Bobath, UK. Okay. And there, thankfully, I got the opportunity to be trained in physio and speech therapy.
Oh,
and
wow.
also a bit of occupational therapy, so I can support
Oh,
Elsie.
wow.
So now I don't do just for Elsie, but anytime the opportunity presents itself and there are children around, I help.
You are amazing.
Yeah.
You are just an amazing human being. What? And I thought I knew your story. Wow.
Yeah.
So you studied physio and
Speech therapy.
Speech therapy. So now you can help. You see?
Yes.
God
I
works in
help.
mysterious ways, doesn't he?
He does.
You know, because of what you thought, I mean, or people thought would have been an adversity.
Exactly.
Now you turned into
and it
something
came
for
in
greater
very
good.
handy because at some point my mom became very ill and it was all brain issues, and I kind of had seen it before, so I would say Elsie's was a test case for me.
you. Yeah.
So I was able to handle my mom's condition until unfortunately she passed last September.
May she rest in peace.
No, she passed in November.
November,
My dad,
yes.
yeah,
Your dad in
but,
September, yeah. Because I remember,
So, yes.
you know, Nana talking about you having visit. And then I think your younger sister is also in the military now.
The husband. Her husband.
Her husband is
Yeah.
rather in the military.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
she's a senior sister.
She's
We
a
are just
senior.
6 months apart.
Oh, she's your senior sister?
Yes.
Okay. But you have a cousin who is in the military.
She's my niece.
She's your niece.
Yes.
So yes, so she referred to your mother as her grandmother.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, she's your niece. Yeah,
Yes.
I remember. We communicated.
Harriet Obaya. Yes.
Obaya. We communicated.
A very good nurse at that.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obaya and she became my daughter even before, you know, well before I got married.
Okay.
You know, yes, Obaya.
And Elsie's body.
Really?
Yes.
I remember went for a program at Kolebo, the nursing, so I went to give a talk. That's when we
You
got
met,
close years
okay.
ago. Yeah, we got close, and
She's a fantastic
he said
nurse.
she sent me pictures in her uniform. So my you know. But that's awesome. But how has the journey been for you? Yes, acceptance.
It's been
yes,
a roller
learning,
coaster.
but every day having to take care of her, you know. And one thing I'm proud of you, you take her everywhere.
Yes, except funerals.
Except funerals, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But
Why-
she's attended a few funerals though.
Why except funerals? Too many people come there?
Really, not too many people. It's just that if it's not that close, she doesn't have to be
go
there.
Yeah,
Yes.
anyway, it makes sense, of course.
Yes.
Doesn't
But
have to be there.
she's attended a few funerals.
Okay, your
She
mom's
had-
funeral,
yeah,
she was there. Your mom
my
and
mom,
dad.
my dad, and then her grandfather, my
Okay.
husband's
father.
father. Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
at least she's attended 3
Right.
of them.
Okay.
Usually funerals, because it's either I'm too involved and I'll go up and down and I'll not have time for her, or she'll be too exposed, because
Yeah.
I don't know, but she's able to attract so much crowd. Every attention will be on her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know why. It's okay
Once
at
again-
parties, but
Once again, what do you expect? 23rd January, Friday. we germinate, we germinate.
I know.
You can't
You
hide.
can't
us.
hide.
No,
Yeah.
no. Your
Yeah.
barriers will pop up.
yeah,
You know, will
she's
pop up
so
everywhere.
strong-willed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she schooling now?
Yeah, she's in school. She's in Multi-Kids Inclusive Academy, and they are doing fantastic with her.
Amazing.
So in the school, she gets everything. She gets the speech, she gets the physio, she gets occupational therapy, drama therapy, hydrotherapy. So it's all inclusive. Plus, she gets to meet a lot of children from other parts of the world. Because it's an
Eugenia, would you
international-
say that you've come to a total acceptance, or every now and then it flashes and you hope? I know you're a woman of faith, and of course with God all things are possible. but
Yes.
do you get those flashbacks and say to yourself, why me? Why did I? I mean, if I hadn't gone here, if that guilt trip sometimes, though it is absolutely not your fault, but sometimes you feel like, why did I even go to this? Why did I even do this? Do you still get those flashes?
No, I've gotten over that.
Great.
I have. I'm looking forward. Right now, I have channeled my energies into looking at things that will make her better. Yes. So I've moved past that stage. It wasn't taking me anywhere.
Yeah.
Yes. So sometimes you see me in the middle of the night when everybody is sleeping. I'm looking for one intervention or the other. I'm trying to find a device that will support her. I'm trying to draw something and see if I can get her a walker that will support her. Those are the things I'm into now. So those self-pity things, I have stopped.
Eugenia, the creator, the inventor.
In the past, I designed a few chairs for her and they really worked. Yes. So every day I'm thinking ahead what I can do to make her life better.
What does she want to be in future?
She wants to be a doctor.
She wants to be a doctor.
Yes.
Hallelujah to that. On that note, let me take it. And she will be. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll look at her advice for other women, you know, and things to look out for, because we take a lot of things for granted as mothers. That's the truth. Anyway, we'll be back.
The Standpoint. The Standpoint.
Welcome back to The Standpoint. And once again, I say thank you to Auntie Vera, House of Food. We are so grateful to you. Always, you know, coming to our aid. We are grateful to you. Thank you to Yep Cleaning Services, Mrs. Soforipoko and the family, Juice Time, Bigo Drinks, Vena Mineral Water, and of course, Vina Decor for beautifying our set for us. I'm talking to Mrs. Eugenia Raj Tevi, General Manager of, you know, Cetera Shoes. They are Tosu. They deal in mainly in male shoes for male. Okay, we are sharing the story of her beloved daughter, that's Elsie, who has cerebral palsy, how it happened, how the journey has been so far. Thankfully, she can talk. And we know that very soon she'll be the doctor that she wants to be, you know. And they always turn out to be such amazing human beings and, you know, professionals. So we are grateful to them. And I also like to say thank you to all those who supported the launching of my book, When Strong Women Cry. That's Vena Mineral Water. So grateful to them. Doman, Alaji's wife, Awache, thank you so much. Blue Skies, Eden's Hive, E-Cakes Ghana, and everybody who supported. We are so grateful to them. And you make sure that you go out there, get your copy. And it's 100 Ghana cities. And you can call 020-3535-500 or 0543-618182 to order. If you want me to come to your organization, your church, your group, to come and speak and then do a book signing, of course, I'm open to that as well. So Eugenia, so far so good.
Yes.
So far so good. How is your husband also coping?
Oh, he's fine. He's coping well.
Today is Elsie daddy's girl?
Yeah. Yeah, and Daddy keeps saying she's like me.
Yeah.
She has her way. If she needs something from Daddy,
she's able to get it.
She's got that woman power. And she's really Daddy's girl. If you touch Elsie, you touch Daddy. So.
Yeah. So yeah, she knows she's got backing.
Oh yes, she
like
does.
Is it it's Victoria something. You say, I get back, you know, I've got the father, got the son.
Yes.
You know, she's got backing.
Yes.
That's amazing. So what would you say in all this? What would be the greatest lesson you've learned when it comes to motherhood?
Motherhood and the lessons. Patience, endurance, determination. You have to be really determined, because it's not easy, even with regular children. Thankfully for me, I have both regular children and a special needs child. Right. So
how many kids do you have now?
I have 4.
4.
Yes.
Hey sister, what book? Why are they?
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years. Timing. So you have 14 Elsie, then Mauli,
yes,
12, and then
I have Makafui
10,
and then on the 11th August, that is Nyamyenyonyam.
Yam's
I have Delali turning 8.
Oh, Delali shares birthday with Nyamyenyonyam. Hey, why you people and your family? Why you came for me, pal?
I would say the first one, I came for you. But
Yeah,
that
didn't came for me.
Because Delali is older.
Older, yes. Delali is older, yes. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I didn't know that.
We've got each other.
We've got each other, That's, it's stronger. Which day was Delali born?
Delali is Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. Okay. Nyonyam is a Friday. She's also Friday. But it's yes.
Hey.
So I timed it. But I had to
is in trouble.
Yeah, you had to come right. I know, right? So that you call. How you girls doing? Depending on my tone, Jamamu. Are you fight?
Oh, you started the fight.
Oh,
already.
we fight. Hey, we fight.
Wow.
We fight. And as soon as he sees the daddy, then you say, daddy. Pointing at me.
Elsie does the same to me, and it's not amazing. It's not funny at all. You've struggled the whole day to get things done for her, and then she sees that and is like, I don't need you anymore. Don't come to me. Don't talk to me. But anyway.
We did. That's the beauty of motherhood.
It's all part of motherhood. That is what I call endurance. Because if you don't endure some of these things, I
didn't know that it can be so painful. That you'll be there, you will go to do myself for days, and then you come suddenly, and
you don't know you again.
Hey!
I get that all the time.
But it is well.
Yes,
it is well. It is well. You've done so well.
Yes.
We are amazed, and today we just wanted to celebrate you.
Thank you.
Say we are proud of you for what you've done, what you're doing for other mothers as well. I'm sure other mothers look up to you and say that Eugenia has done it, Raj has done it, so I can also do it. We have a package for you from Vita Milk. Vena Mineral Water also has a pack of water and drinks for you. We also have a package from Pepsodent and Geisha.
Oh, wow.
For you as well. And then beads from Twinnies.
Oh,
for you just to celebrate you.
This has been a good Mother's Day.
It's not much, but this is just to say
much.
that we see you, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Father's Day, I hope we'll get your husband, we'll convince him to come as well, because June is for fathers.
Yes.
Yeah, so we can celebrate it because yes, I even have goosebumps. The story of your husband is just he's really
everything.
And God bless him. Now your final words, then we'll go.
Yes, my final words to parents, especially parents with special needs. They shouldn't give up on their children. They have special needs, yes, but they have other abilities children don't have. And we all cry, but we shouldn't do it in front of our children, because when we break down, they break down. Anything that breaks us breaks them. We are the front line to them being successful, to them improving. We are the front line, and if we break down, we just make them susceptible to everything that can harm them. So I beg you, and also the fights, whatever it is, don't do it in front of them. And be strong in the Lord, or whichever religion you are in, just stay strong and focused, and God will be on your side. Your good work will always be appreciated by others. It might seem nobody is looking, but in the end, even if nobody sees, God will reward you. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much too. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All the best. One day we'll have Elsie here.
Oh,
come and tell us her story herself, and then we'll find out whether, mommy is trying to take her place or not.
She's always stealing my shine. If you bring her here, she's stealing my shine.
That's like since I gave birth to Educative, nobody, all my friends and daughters, anytime they are sending anything, for our sister, for my daughter, me, nothing.
No, nothing comes to you. They'll tell you that's why you got married. Nobody knows. And it's amazing. I take her out. I go out And I greet somebody, they don't know me. But when I mention, oh, Elsie's mom, oh, yes. So she's always taking my shine, but that's okay. That's okay. As long as she's happy, I'm okay.
You're good.
Yes.
You're
and
good.
Thank you to all the sponsors for the lovely presents.
So,
God bless them all.
You deserve it. You deserve it. Thank you too.
Thank you
too. I'll be back with a bit of me. You know, motherhood, yes, beautiful. And most mothers sigh the pain of pregnancy and pushing and CS will normally go home and hold their babies and be excited and have, a jolly ride. But some mothers don't have it that way. Some mothers get, quote unquote, disappointed few months down the line. They get the shock of their lives. They get disillusioned. They get confused. They get broken because the child is later on diagnosed with a condition that sometimes they have to live for the rest of their lives. But guess what? If you're a mother in that situation, examples abound. There are many mothers who have done it. Yes, there are those who, unfortunately, their partners, their husbands, abandon them because of the condition, and they, the mothers, are blamed. But there are those who do it even as single female parent, raising the child all by themselves. And there are those who are also blessed to have their partners stand with them, go through the fire, the challenges, the tears, the ups and downs with them. And they raise these children to become beneficial to society, to themselves, to their family. Because of these children, their mothers go to places, their fathers go to places that they would have never been able to go in their lives. So please, no matter the kind of mother you are, no matter the kind of child you have, no seed is bad. No child is useless. No child is bad. Celebrate it. Don't hide your children with special needs. Do not. Be bold. This is what God gave you. He gave you that child for a reason. If only you open your eyes, if only you pay attention, if only you will love that child, you'll be amazed the doors that will open for you. Nothing is difficult for God. He uses everyone, irrespective of your condition, irrespective of your background, irrespective of your standing. God uses all of us to be a blessing. So don't let anybody put you down. Don't put yourself down. Get off that guilt trip and be proud of what God has given you. God loves you, so you have a responsibility to love that child. Examples abound. Examples. And if, once again, you read my book, When Strong Women Cry, you hear the stories of many who have been through this. And you can go through it too. I remain a woman with super crazy faith in God. Yes, I do cry, but I know God has given me wisdom. So every day after crying, I wipe my face. And I step out and I go, knowing that God is with me. God is with you. Love you always. Mwah.